Good morning and welcome to today's edition of the fifth quarter Northern Arizona Sports Show. I'm Tommy Hernandez. I'll be your co-host for today. Super excited to step in for your regular starters, Coach Johnson and Coach Neal. And today I'll be joined by Michelle.
Hi, all. Welcome.
Good morning, Michelle. How you doing?
I just had a little technical glitch, so I'm calming down from that, but I'm good. I'm good now.
Well, good, good. I had to step up my game a little bit this week. I saw Danny went over some local sports, so I did a little digging in and a lot of fall sports going on right now. On the volleyball side, we have Coach Haglin and Flagstaff High School Eagles off to a soaring start. They're 5-2 and 1-0 in the region. Coconino's off to a little bit of a slower start with the new coaching staff, but there's plenty of season to turn things around. On the football side, Black High will be at Desert Sky tonight, looking to turn things around for their season. Again, off to a slow start, but they have plenty of amazing athletes over there ready to do some damage. Coconino is off to another great start. They're 2-0, but I think tonight will be their biggest challenge. They go down and face Arcadia, really good team, so that'll be exciting to see. We have cross country in full stride. We know how big cross country is in our community, from high school to NAU, and now CCC in the mix. A little shout out to Ryan Hatch. My buddy over there is doing good. Set a school record over at Buffalo Park at the last race. And the big talk in town, of course, is the FHS Lady Eagles flag football team. In their inaugural season, they're 5-0 under Coach Johnson. Have you been able to read up on them at all, Michelle?
I haven't read up on them, but I do know that they have a lot of players who do multiple sports. So
Absolutely.
that to me is super exciting. I love when you have an athlete who can perform exceptionally well in multiple sports. I think that it only helps their training. I think it helps them as a person and learning how to deal with different coaches and teams. And I expect for Coach Johnson to come home with another ring after the state playoffs for the girls flag football. I think he's doing an amazing job with those athletes, and I think he's gonna have another ring to add to that basketball ring.
Absolutely. I got to go over and catch one game live. It was super fun. It was fun to watch. I saw softball girls out there. They have a quarterback. She's a softball player. They have some track stars. There was soccer players, a little bit of everything. So it's super cool to see these young ladies come together under Coach Johnson. We know he's a proven winner, and he's going to work miracles over there. They're off to a great start. So um, kind of covering up on that, and I'm super excited for today's guest. Great young lady. She was Grand Canyon Region Player of the Year. She was Arizona Daily Sun's Player of the Year. Flag Coco's softball player of the decade for Coconino. Over her career at Coconino, she hit 395 with 392 strikeouts. So she was just amazing on both sides of the plate. She actually paid for me at NAU, where she batted amazing 464 with 58 strikeouts. She's one of the fiercest players to take the softball field, but one of the sweetest young ladies I know. Today's guest, Kaitlyn Snopek.
Hi guys.
Morning, Kate. How
Yeah,
you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Doing good.
We're excited to talk with you. I have never met you before, so I am so interested in finding out all about you. Like, how did you start playing softball?
Yeah, so I started playing softball when I was 4 years old. I have an older brother who is about 3 years older than me, and he grew baseball or played baseball growing up. And I always was just like the little sister running around at the baseball games. And so when it came time that I could actually play sports, I was like, I want to play whatever is closest to that. And so that was softball for me.
That's awesome. Before we get in, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you're from here. Just give us some background for those that don't know who you are.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Flagstaff, Arizona. Like I said, I grew up playing softball my entire life. When I was younger, I tried out volleyball, I tried out dance, and I just never loved them as much as I love softball. And I grew up, I went to Knowles Elementary, Sonoma Middle School, and then I went to Coconino High School, go Panthers. I graduated in 2019. After high school, I went to college in South Carolina for a little bit. And then my freshman year of college is when COVID hit. So, that took the world by storm. And so I ended up transferring back home to Arizona. I went to CCC for a little bit and then transferred over to NAU. And this past May, I just graduated from NAU with my Bachelor's of Science in Public Health.
Awesome. Congratulations on that. Welcome to the alumni family.
I know.
NAU. Michelle, did you go to NAU as well?
I did. I got my bachelor's of education at NAU and taught for a little bit, but teaching is hard and raising kids is hard at the same time. So I stopped teaching, but I still work at NAU. So
Awesome.
I'm super excited that you came home to graduate from NAU. Are you working currently?
Yes, so I work at a golf course in town, Aspen Valley Golf Course. I work down in the cart barn, cleaning clubs, getting the carts ready for tee times, all that stuff. And I also work for my mom. She is a small business owner. She owns the Flagstaff Chocolate Company in downtown Flagstaff, located in the Old Town Shops. So I do a bunch of production and make a lot of the stuff for her there.
Awesome. Awesome. So, sports were obviously a big part of your life, especially softball. I had the opportunity to coach against you from when you were with a really good team, Ambush, with your dad and Coach Darren and a bunch of great guys over there coaching. I started a new team. We went through some adversities, and I just wanted to talk to you about how did sports teach you how to get through adversities in life, and what has sports done for you when you've come through a challenging time?
I feel like with softball, especially, they say this with baseball and softball, it's like one of the only sports where you can fail 7 out of 10 times and still be successful. At the plate, if you're hitting 300, that's really, really good. And so I feel like just that, playing sports, it really taught me something my dad always instilled in me. My dad coached me a lot growing up. And after a loss, he always told us to never get down on ourselves and just to look at it in the fact of, what can we learn from this? What adjustments can we make to move on from this? And I feel like I've taken a lot of those lessons that I've learned through softball into my everyday life now.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Michelle.
Were you coaching the Panther softball team at all?
Yes. So this past year, I finally decided to hang up the cleats, but I wasn't fully ready to get rid of softball. It's been such a big part of my life. And so I reached out to Kimberly Dennis. She's the head coach, the varsity softball coach at Coconino, who I played under for 4 years. And I asked if she needed any help, and she thankfully brought me on. And so I helped coach at the varsity level this past year, and I loved it.
That's awesome. How is the transition been from player to coach? Because you were just playing recently.
Yes, literally the year before I was playing.
Right.
Yeah. It's been fun. I thought at first that was what I was a little bit nervous about. I was like, oh, am I going to be around it, and really, really miss playing it? And I do, of course, but I think that it's so much fun. I feel like the coaching side of things really brings out a completely different side of the game. I can't lie, there was sometimes when we would have kind of a more relaxed practice and just be doing BP, and I would ask like, hey coach, can I hit a couple? Fun stuff like that. But it's been a lot of fun. I feel like the transition was a lot easier than I expected it to be.
That's awesome. I think it's great for young people such as yourself to get involved with coaching. You can really relate to the kids and connect with them. How did you feel your relationship was with the players?
I feel like it was really, really good. That was also something I was nervous about going into it, since I am. So this past senior class who just graduated, they would have been incoming freshmen right after I graduated. So I really wasn't that much older than them. And we had a lot of, similar friends, kids I went to high school with, they did too. And so I was a little nervous that they almost wouldn't take me serious as a coach at first, but I had a really, really great group of girls, and they definitely took me serious, definitely respected me as a coach. And I think it's so fun because Kaitlyn So and Alyssa Faulkner, that's our pitcher and catcher at Coconino. Right. It's so fun because I remember them being young girls, running around the softball fields. And it's so cool to watch them grow up and get to help them now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You don't always have to hang up your cleats though, because there's that old people softball league that plays
I
at
did play
night.
in that this past summer too, and I had a blast. So
Yeah. Yeah. That's how I keep, my stories are, the older I get, the better I was. So that's kind of how it goes from here on out. But, it's great to see you coaching and young people such as yourself and Kayla. Kayla's coaching JV volleyball at Coconino. So it's awesome to see you guys giving back and taking it in. And it's awesome because, us old guys, we're not going to be around much longer. We got to hand it over to you guys. So I know playing for Coach Dennis and then coaching with her. How's that?
it's really fun, honestly. I feel like there is some times where I'm still, she'll get on the girls or something and I get a little like, oh my gosh, because I played for her, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, don't upset coach, but it's funny now. It's great. She's such a great coach. I've learned so much from her over the years, and just the fact that I was given the opportunity to come in and coach with her, she knows so much. And so a lot of the times I would just sit back and absorb as much as I could. Her and Coach John Faulkner, he does so much with the girls with the USA athletics programs in the summers, and they both just know so much about the game. And so I'm thankful that they were so welcoming bringing me in, and I'm learning so much from them.
Do you have plans to come back and coach this season?
Yes, I am going to come back and coach this season.
Wonderful. With that coaching experience now, what do you recommend young athletes do in preparation to try out for a high school sport? Because not everybody gets to play at the high school level. So what do you recommend they work on, they do prepare to be able to compete and try out?
Yeah. So I would say fully just being yourself, you know what I mean? Coming in and not being afraid to work hard, ask questions. I feel like that's a really big thing. I know me going into tryouts week, all that stuff, especially when I was younger, it's definitely intimidating. You're around all these girls wanting to compete, wanting to do your best. And even if you don't have your best day, at tryouts or whatever it may be, don't be afraid. I love now as a coach when girls come up to me or if I say something and I'm trying to work on them with something and they go, Coach, I don't understand that. I love when they do that because it shows me, okay, now let's find another way to get this to work for you. So yeah, just being yourself, asking questions, and always giving 100% effort. Any coach will love that so much, not just slacking off and staying with the crowd, being the one to pick up the balls first, or when we call you over, hustling over, just little things like that.
Absolutely. So you came in and you played varsity as a freshman. I know you're young, you're nervous. Who were some of the girls that you looked up to? Who are some of your player mentors?
One girl I really looked up to was Rachel Tosi. She was the starting pitcher before I had kind of come in and taken the spot. So yeah, Rachel was always so good. We would always joke because in the bullpen at Coconino, there's the two mounds. So we were right next to each other when we were warming up, doing whatever. And she was always just so supportive of me coming in as a younger girl. I remember my sophomore season was her senior season. And so we kind of split time in the circle. And I feel like a lot of other people could have been, in her position, being older and being a senior, could have been a little bit jealous or not wanting me to be there. And she was always so supportive. So Rachel Tosi was definitely one that I looked up to.
That's awesome. Yeah, she's comes from a great softball family in Flagstaff as well. So great to hear her name again. So let's talk a little bit about the rivalry. I know I was coaching at Flag High when you were a senior. We split. It was really good, and I didn't really watch this year. Is that softball rivalry still real close and real tight? Both.
Yeah, I feel like in any sport, I feel like the Flag High Cocoa rivalry is never gonna go away. I do think I agree. It's one of the greatest rivalries in any Arizona sports, any teams across the US. I think it's so great. But yeah, there definitely is some rivalry, but I love it too because just like when I was playing, a lot of the girls play with each other, like from Cocoa and from Flag High in their travel teams. And so it's cool to see like the still friendships coming out and them going and giving each other hugs after the game and stuff like that. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, and I can relate that back to when you were playing because you were playing with Monica and Aaron and some of the girls from Flag High in travel and then against each other in the rivalry games. So yeah,
That's one of
that's
my
fun.
greatest memories is playing against them in those games.
That's awesome. Um, so uh, just going back to your high school career, what are some of the things that stick out to you? Like lessons you learned or anything, what sticks out the most?
I would say back in high school, softball was one of the main things that really got me out of my shell. I was a really, really shy young girl. And being able to be a part of the team and being around the girls who were so supportive. And we really, the entire time I was in high school, any girl that was on the varsity team, I feel like really they were just so nice. Like I didn't even see them as teammates. I saw them as sisters. And so being able to be a part of a team like that, it really got me to come out of my shell. And then later in high school, I joined the Links program, which is kind of like a mentorship program for incoming freshmen. And my senior year, I joined student council and things like that. And I feel like genuinely, if I wasn't a part of a sport or came out of my shell like that, like I did in softball, I wouldn't have joined those programs.
It's wonderful that sports helps set you up for opportunities later in life. Senior year student council, I'm sure it also helped you in college when you went to play for the NAU club team, right?
Yes, 100%. It definitely helped too, like Tommy had just mentioned. On the club team, I got to play with some girls who I was really, really close with in high school. Taylor Brown being one of them. She played with me at Coconino, and then Monica Encinas and Erin Dry, they played at Flag High. And Natalie Hansen, she played at NPA. So I just had a connection with a bunch of the girls on the team. And yeah, coming into it, it was a new experience. I joined the team to try and meet new people, have new experiences. I had just transferred over from CCC to NAU. And yeah, it was a really great opportunity. I loved it so much.
Now, was that team, I think I saw NAU club go to the World Series kind of tournament. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so we ended up being conference and region champions. And then yeah, we got to make it to the NCSA World Series in Georgia. So we got to fly in. I don't remember how many teams there were, Tommy. Do you?
20.
20. There was 20 teams. So we were basically one of the top 20 teams there. And I believe we went 3-3 over the weekend when we were there. So not the outcome we wanted, but it was still such an amazing experience. And I loved it.
I
Right.
I
Oh,
do
good.
remember watching it on TV or however it was being broadcast. I remember watching NAU club softball. Like I didn't even know they had a club softball. So that was super exciting. I mean, I don't have daughters, but I played softball as a little kid in high school. And one of my husband and my greatest dream when we retire is to go to Oklahoma City and watch the Women's College World Series in person. Don't care who's playing. We just want to go and watch because
Yep.
we love the sport. We love watching these women, do what they love to do. So I'm so excited you got that opportunity.
Yeah, it was really, really awesome.
Yeah, that was a great year. There was a lot of firsts for NAU softball. First time we won our conference, first time we won our region, first time we went to the World Series. We're consistently ranked in that top 20, and Kaitlyn, of course, was a big part of that, as well as some of the other local girls. We had, Monica behind the dish and Taylor splitting some time in the circle. So that was super fun to do that, especially with some local talent. For me, coaching against yourself and Taylor, it was much more fun having you in the same dugout as me because we battled against you from like 12U when I was put the little storm team together and going on. So it was awesome to do that and to bring you and Monica and Aaron and everybody back together and to be able to be so successful was amazing for me. So thank you for coming out and helping build this program because a lot of people don't know it exists,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm glad you did. Did you know anything about the NCSA prior to the season?
No, I had no idea about it, honestly. And I honestly wasn't even going to try out. But then Monica, I was living with her at the time, and I'm still best friends with her to this day. And she had done it her freshman year, and then you
Yeah.
didn't do it sophomore year because of COVID. And she was like, "Oh, come on, Kate, like just come try out." And I remember getting ready for tryouts and I was so nervous. I was like, "Oh my gosh, what if I don't make the team?" I was freaking out. And then yeah, to come out, and it ended up being so great. I met so many amazing teammates from all over. It was cool because I did have my little group of Flagstaff girls, but I got to meet girls from all over the place, and it was a lot of fun. And I want to say thank you, Tommy, because you really do so much for that program. And I feel like a big reason why a lot of people know about it now is because you work so hard getting it out there.
Well, thank you. Yeah, definitely. It's been a lot, but it's definitely you know, it's built faster than we've had more success than I could have ever imagined very quickly. I'll throw this out there again. We have a really young team. I have a couple of freshman pitchers that are really good. So anytime you want to come work with them, let me know. You're more than welcome because I'll take
Sounds
all the help I can get. And I think you'd be impressed with these two young ladies.
cool.
So, but kind of moving on. Tell me a little bit about what lessons you learned from and you took from team sports and how it's helping you be successful in life today.
Yeah, I feel like one of the greatest parts about team sports is the fact that you're working with all different types of people, different backgrounds, everything. And so I feel like it's really good to learn how to deal with people. I know like a big part of going into coaching now is, and this is something my dad always taught me, is, not there's not one way to teach something. And so learning about the person, figuring out how they kind of absorb information and things like that. I feel like I started learning those lessons even with my teammates, you know what I mean? Like, let's say someone after a strikeout, some girls will come in and doesn't affect them that much. Some girls may need a minute to cool off, and just learning little tiny things like that. And I feel like that has even helped me into coaching now because I am starting to learn my athletes even more. And okay, I might need to go talk to her after 5 minutes, let her cool off for a little bit and just stuff like that. But yeah, learning how to deal with people, different people, and learning how to face adversity together. I feel like that's a big thing too, not just by yourself, but how to come back even stronger as a team.
Right. I remember when we went to regionals, we were down in the first two games on Saturday and we were losing and we had to come from behind. But you were a big part of what sparked it. You were super intense and motivational, and I think the girls responded well to you. So do you take that type of intensity to coaching as well?
Yeah, definitely. Something I always say, and I don't mean this in a negative way at all, but at the end of the day, it really is just a game. We're out here to
Right.
have fun and stuff like that. And I feel like it's so easy for coaches, players, parents, anyone to get wrapped up in the game. And you know what I mean? Emotions can get the best of you. And so something I've always tried to do, both playing and coaching now, is just do something to have fun. You know what I mean? Even if it's cracking a joke to lighten the mood a little bit. This past year, with my girls, I wanted to do something fun. So I brought it by Coach Dennis and Coach Faulkner, and I did little lucky duckies. So at the end of the games, if we won, I would choose one of the girls. It could be whether because they played super well or they had a great attitude in the dugout, something like that. And they would get like a little rubber ducky and they got to choose it. And I feel like the girls really like that. But just something as silly and small as that, just to keep
Right.
it lighthearted and fun.
These have all been great tips for new coaches to bring in when they start with a new team. But now it's time for the golden nugget question. And I am going to pitch it back over to Tommy because I think he has the best question for you. Tommy, what's the golden nugget? Dun,
Um,
dun, dun.
I could ask questions all day. So like you said, it's just a game at the end of the day. We're all out there to have fun, and without fun, there's no need to be out there. So, what advice do you have for all of the younger athletes out there striving to reach their goals, both athletically and academically? Just about um, how to be successful. Like, how do they get there? What advice do you have for them?
I feel like the biggest piece of advice I could give is to give yourself some leeway sometimes, give yourself a break. Like I said, with sports and just life in general, it can be so easy to get wrapped up in yourself and get frustrated and all this stuff. But if you just take a minute to take a step back, take a deep breath, and know that you're trying your best, I feel like that's the best advice you can give to anyone.
Absolutely. That's great advice. I know for me personally, all the games I played or whatever, I think I remember more the experience, the trips on the bus, the the relationships made and kept. So just a kind of a follow-up, and I know you've kind of touched on it, but how are you still how close are you still to a lot of your teammates from little kid softball on?
I'm extremely close to a lot of my teammates. Sam Siri, she was my catcher at Coconino. She's one of my best friends ever. She's like a sister to me, and same thing with Monica Encinas. Like I said, I played against her, me at Coco, her at Flag High all through high school, and then I got the opportunity to play with her on the NAU club softball team. I'm so close with Taylor Brown, everyone, and it's crazy because now we're at the part of life where like a couple years ago, I went to Maddie Klaus, now Maddie Mickelson's wedding. You know what I mean? And just
Right.
all the girls come together for like new life events, but knowing that we had that connection through softball, I think it's still great. And I feel like any of my teammates I played with, I could still shoot them a text now, even if I haven't talked to them in a while, and we could still have a great conversation. So yeah, I'm super close with all of them still.
That's awesome. Kaitlyn, thanks so much for being on the show today. We'll have to bring you back when softball starts, you and Coach Dennis, and talk a little bit about softball. But I want to wish you all the best going forward. I know you'll continue doing great things, and get the young girls at Coconino going, and good luck in your professional career as well. And you're always more than welcome to come join me at NAU anytime you want. Anytime you get some free time, come on out.
Perfect. Thank you so much for having me. This was awesome. I loved being a part of this.
It was nice meeting you, Caitlin. Have a great spring for softball.
Thank you.
All
She's
right.
darling. I've never met her before, and she was just darling. So insightful.
Yeah, she's a great young lady. I coached against her for a lot of years, so it was finally, a great opportunity for me when she joined NAU to meet her and get to know her at another level. So it is awesome, and I'm so glad she took me up on the offer and she joined, and I'm glad you had the opportunity to meet her as well. What do you got anything going on for the weekend?
Well, I'm gonna watch Coconino and Arcadia on NFHS tonight with a bowl of popcorn and a soda. And then we might go camping. But other than that, I'm just getting prepared for the rest of the fall semester.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. So just throw this out there for anyone in the Phoenix area. NAU softball, we have our first away series this weekend. We're playing at Phoenix College. We got a fresh new team. We got a bunch of freshmen. And mixed in with some great returners. So looking forward to that. Look forward to seeing where we're at and where our season's going to take us. So if you're in the Phoenix area, we play at 8 and 10 tomorrow. Come on out. And then a lot of great football going on tonight as well. So with that said, you ain't got to go home, but
You can't stay here.
peace. Thank you, guys.